Brought to us by Alani. They
Oh,
should pay me for that.
water. I'm nothing
Water's a good
fancy
choice.
today.
Good
I need
choice.
water. I had a really good morning and ate a banana right before we went live. So
Good
I have the fuel,
superfood.
I have the energy. I say let's rock and roll. Tell me, Holly Amato, real estate of
Yes.
Michigan and
Sí, sí,
Florida.
Maciaske.
Yes. So what shall we talk about today?
Well, we always like to teach and we like to inform and we like to educate. But sometimes, I mean, we always do that regardless of our topic. But sometimes there's some things that happen in our industry that are, big enough that we have to address it and we have to talk about what's going on. What's the drama, if you will? I mean, it's not like drama, but it kind of is. But it's like a big business thing that just happened. And most people who aren't
That's
paying
right.
attention won't know. So
Mhm.
I think we should talk about it because it's, real estate is such a big industry that when there's a big shakeup, it's important that people know what's going on. I just want people to be educated, in what they're talking about, because a lot of times they have things backwards. So it's always good to address it. And the clickbait stuff that's out there and whatever. So, and you mentioned it last week too.
I
You
did. Now
said
that you're saying this, I did wanna have this
you mentioned
conversation
it. Like you helped me to
because it's
turn wheels.
drama and it's big and it's relevant.
Very
And I
relevant.
caught it right before we went on live and it just happened and there's not as much that I could read on it quick enough to absorb the information, right? And so now that some of the dust has been settling and we're starting to
Part of 2026. So it still has to be it's subject to approval, it says, but it's basically done. So what CC's
yes.
talking about, what she alluded to last week, so the company Compass, which we've talked about Compass in the past, they're the ones that were going head to head with Zillow because they wanted to have some off market. And Zillow was basically saying, if you're not on the MLS within, I think it was 24 hours of posting something, we're not going to let you put your listings on Zillow. It was kind of like they puffed their chest out and they were like, we're not going to stop gap them. And so Compass is funny to me how they just turn around and they're like, all righty then. So they decided in a very bold move that they were going to purchase anywhere real estate. Anywhere real estate is just this big parent umbrella over Sotheby's, Coldwell
Century
Banker,
Century 21.
Century 21, a lot of these brands that they're not online, meaning they're not. So I'm a cloud based. I'm with EXP. It's cloud based. There's cloud based brokerages, and then there's franchise models. So these are all franchise models. Now KW is not included in this. They're a big franchise model, but Gary Keller just partnered with someone on. They're doing something their own. What this tells me is these companies realize we have to become relevant. We have to do something because we're shifting, everything's shifting in real estate. We got to do something big to make a dent and to stay relevant, and to make like a big disruption in the industry. I think it's an intention getting thing, but I think it's also a way for them to, they're treading water. And so it's kind of like, hey, let's collectively come.
To be in competition. And now I would like to say the word aggressive. Okay,
Mhm.
so when I first read about this last week and I heard about the merger and what this new acquisition that Compass is having with Anywhere Realty, the word aggressive was the
Yeah,
first thing that came to mind. Okay, so to me, that's an aggressive move.
it
It's a
is.
it's a powerful move. So my first reaction without like I read a little bit, but my first reaction is if this is true, the aggressiveness, the competition for going against Zillow, Redfin. I know like iBuy is out there. I don't know much about iBuy. I don't
It's
hear
not a
anything about
success.
it.
It
But
didn't have the success they wanted, really.
the platforms. And then when I started thinking deeper into it and like, okay, so Compass is merging, they're having this acquisition with Anywhere Realty, and these are a lot of brick and mortar companies,
They're
right?
total brick and mortar
They're all
franchise models.
Sotheby's, yes,
Old
s
school,
old school way,
very old
and
school.
who was not who was not involved with the NAR settlement, the NAR lawsuit? EXP, Epic, what other ones are
Real.
cloud-based?
Well, Epic's too
Real.
new. Yeah, Epic, I was saying they're too new. They weren't really
Yeah,
around long enough
but it's the
to get,
platform.
yeah.
It's the
None of the
online
cloud base
cloud.
got drawn in. Hi,
Yeah,
Knucklehead. Thanks for joining. Yeah, EXP,
hello.
I'm proud of that. We didn't get sued. We didn't pay a single dime in that. And all these other companies, they paid a lot. They paid a lot.
And it was a brick and mortar, so
Yep.
as we're talking about the future, as we're talking about AI, as we're talking about Chat GPT, as we're talking about this in relevance of our market, of our industry in real
Hmm.
estate, use the word shake up. This shakes
Yes,
stuff up. I
it
love that
does.
word. That's a very powerful word to describe what's happening. Is that this
Hmm.
company came in, they want to be big dog. They just
Yes,
paid to be a big dog. They have 18%, right? That's huge. Big
it is
dog
huge.
move, big dog attitude, and their bark is only gonna get bigger. 18%? Give it to 2029. Let's see how big that this company could be and what they wanna do.
Yeah.
And I'm a little worried there'll be some fallbacks, but to see that they're taking brick and mortars and now they're gonna be able to go up against these big online platforms like Zillow. They're not scared of
I gotta
NAR.
I'm clapping for that. Anybody that wants to take on Zillow because Zillow's trying to steal our industry, that I'm not part of Compass and I'm not going to be, I don't think. I mean, I don't plan to be because I've been with these brick and mortars before and I love EXP, but I'm still rooting for them because they're not going to hurt me. Like all they're going to do is strengthen our hold on real estate, which is, agent based, and you're getting a human being that's going to walk you through and doesn't get paid a dime until you close. So you're getting, I like that is what real estate needs to be. There's so many, we can talk about those things a different day because that might take too long. But
Mhm.
anyone who wants to take on Zillow, for me, I'm clapping for them. I think it's great. I think if they hadn't have done this, I'm going to go so far to say I think a lot of these brokerages would have died because they can't compete. Unfortunately, they are antiquated. Many of them, I've belonged to a couple other brokerages before I came to EXP that were not cloud based, that were franchise models, and they can't compete. They do, some of them will do profit. Actually, only KW did profit share. You could share in the profits of your office only if your office was profitable. And then with EXP, it's revenue share. I am sharing in the revenue, not just the profits, the whole revenue of the entire company, of all of EXP, not just my little sector, not just my little piece. It's a huge thing. And I have stock. We get stock in the company and it continues to grow every time I do anything in the company. So for me, these franchise models can't compete with that. And unless they completely decide to go and change their model, the only other thing they could do is get power in numbers. Okay, guys, let's all link hands. Let's combine our efforts and let's go in there with a strong presence. It's the only
And
other thing they could do. So it was a
and
smart move. It
it
was.
is because it's gonna be tech forward. They're gonna take these companies and go tech forward and
Yes.
be able to hit the ground running and change the systems, change that brick and mortar.
Keep going.
Oh,
Yeah, change the
sorry.
brick and
Hi,
mortar.
Frank.
Nope, keep
Yeah,
going.
so I was reading, we have a couple comments below.
No, I'm gonna get to the comments. I was gonna let you finish your thought though.
Okay, so I think with this, I'm excited to see because everybody talks about competition.
It's healthy.
It's a healthy
It's healthy.
competition,
It's good.
and
Having choices is good.
it is,
Yeah,
and so I'm looking forward to see what this shakeup does. We've had a lot of shakeup in the past. We've had the fair, and I'm okay not having any more shakeups.
I hear
The
you.
one like, the another shakeup that's going to happen is if the government shuts down. I'm not talking
We're gonna get to that
politics.
too. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, but
We gotta
that's
hit that.
another shakeup that's
Yeah.
coming of like, okay, what does that look like for our industry, and how will that affect interest rates?
Yeah,
So I'm kind of like almost done with shakeups,
I
but
hear
we
you.
need positive ones, healthy ones, ones that strengthen our industry and give everybody an opportunity to not be a monopoly.
Right.
So I know that.
Monopolies are bad. We don't want a monopoly. And by the way, thanks for sending the hearts, whoever's doing that. I appreciate that. It's always good. And we always want to thank the people who are coming on and commenting because we're kind of that's what we're here for. So thank you. It's a vibe. I appreciate he thinks we're cute. Thank you for that. Okay, Knucklehead. We're gonna talk about help. So hello to Frank and hello to Johnny. Knucklehead. This is a good question, really quick before we move on.
Okay.
He's a handyman. He just started his LLC. What's the best ways to approach real estate agents for more jobs? Now, this is super smart of you.
I love
This is
it.
awesome. Obviously, you're going to have a
Awesome.
card. You're going to have a presence online. You're going to have a card, have some content. What I would do if I were you, because I'm a content girl, start making some videos and some content talking about what people should do before listing their house. Little things they can do so that when they have an inspection and walkthroughs, it will not look like they have a lot of deferred maintenance because buyers get nervous. Like if you walk through a house
Mhm.
and you see a bunch of little things, you start to wonder, okay, these are things I can see. What about the things I can't see? If this person was so neglectful of their home on the things that everyone can see, they probably didn't even think about, did I tune up my furnace? Did I clean it? Did I clear the air ducts? What's going on up in the attic? You know what I mean? So it's like, if I were you, I'd make some really cool content that's helping real estate agents. You always want to give before you take, right? So you're going to give to them, hey, here's some ideas.
Value.
Make a PDF, have ChatGPT do it, right? Something and be like, hey, comment whatever for my list of ways of a list that you can give to your clients that are going to be selling on what they can do, things they can do to get their house ready to sell. Give these things to real estate agents so that they can then look like a rock star in front of their sellers and be like, hey, here's some things you can do to your home that aren't going to cost a ton of money, but are really going to make it pop. And then you can also, so you're giving to them, right? And you're helping them. And content is the best way to do that. And then also go to networking events where real estate agents are. Um, if you want to even be part of an event where real estate agents are going for like continuing education when we all have to go and there's 200 of us in a room and you want to say, hey, I'll help sponsor the lunch, a couple vendors will do that, and you get up in front of them and talk for 2 or 3 minutes. It's a great way to do that, and you can always reach out to me and I'm happy to. I don't know where you're located. If you want to tell me where you're located, if you're in Michigan, maybe we can have coffee or something and you can chat with me, and we can promote you because we're always looking for people to do all of that. Yes, I read the Bible every single day. I love that. Hi, silent killer. We got some fun
So,
people on today. Yes, love reading the
for
Bible.
knucklehead, let me give you my take on this from
Ooh, we're in
the.
Florida too. Sorry to
Oh,
interrupt you, Cece.
great.
So I'm licensed in Florida, and so Cece, my daughter. Actually, fun fact: I'm going down on Friday. She's in Delray. She moved down in July. It's not what she wanted it to be, so we're packing her up and moving her back here to Michigan. But I love Florida, and I love like I've had my broker license for 5 years, and we have a lot of people snowbirding or just moving down. So yeah, so let me know where you're at in Florida, and if I'm ever down when I'm down there next time, and I'm not this time around, it's going to be just moving and getting the heck out of there, getting moving her out. But maybe we can check in. But yeah,
And what's really cool is you could refer people. Excuse me. So hopping onto a live like this
yes.
is huge. So my take as a lender, when I have clients that come in that get relocated, that get restationed, who are moving across town, the city I live on one corner of the city, and I practically work at the other corner of my city, so I have to go across. It's a 35-minute drive.
Is
That's
it
how big
really?
my city is. 35 minutes.
It takes you 35 minutes to get to your office.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
35 minutes to your
Yes.
office from
Yes.
26 and to really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
Well,
can
it's
get to
morning
Birmingham.
traffic.
I can get to Birmingham in 36
I
minutes.
know, but with traffic, morning traffic. So what
Oh, morning traffic in school. You're doing the Vandyck Express? That's why. Okay.
no, I usually I go up to Romeo and I cut across.
Okay.
And even then, It's still a lot. So, but my point is that from one city to another, people are creating new bubbles and where they live. So if you're
Yes.
talking to a loan officer, you're talking to a real estate agent, what's really cool is to talk about bubbles. Someone's creating a new bubble. They're going to have a new dentist if they move from one side of the state to another. Wherever you live, wherever they're in Florida, they have to create a new bubble. And that's
Mhm.
what you want to penetrate. You want to say, I want to be in your client's brand new bubble. How can I
Mhm.
help them? Because here's the thing,
Yes.
I found it very successful, and there's a guy around in our area who takes, and it's up to you, but this is actually kind of marketing genius, and you can have this one. Let me give you this
Give it.
one.
Give it.
He acts like a pseudo dad, because how many times do we have clients who their father passed away or lives too far or whatnot? He will do videos saying, um, this is how, like, the the mundane stuff, like, I have a toilet running. I've tried fixing this toilet twice. My boyfriend tried fixing the toilet, and he's really good at what he does, and it's still running, and it's driving me crazy, and I'm trying to search for videos. So I need a pseudo dad, because my dad lives, like, 2 hours away, he's up north, like, I need a pseudo
Mhm.
dad to watch a video and go, "Okay, if you are my child, this is how I'm gonna teach you," or like, "Hey,
Yes.
pseudo dad here," and be that handyman, because we all need those little
Yes.
things, and
Yes,
he
exactly.
plays off of it, and that's his marketing around here, is like, "Hey, know what? If by chance your dad's not around," not in a creepy way, but you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying, like,
Yeah, no,
"Here,
that's it's
let me
true.
be that person for you that you
Yep.
can count on." And that's that adult male that comes in or and says, "Hey, I got you," right?
And to piggyback on all of this, I liked when I got a card from someone and it said there was a single mom discount. Okay. Think about a lot of women
Oh,
who are newly divorced or were never married and have some kids and are limited income. um I always paid attention because I was a single mom for 13 years and still am. And My kids are adults now, but still it's a lot. Like, I don't know how to do a lot of the things. I've learned to do a lot over the years, but those things, and it appreciate that got my attention, a single mom discount. Now it doesn't say what it was, right? And I hope it's not just clickbait, of course, right? But it's just a way to show the community that you give back, and that's something you can let you can let your people good. Yes, you can let your people know this because a lot of agents, like, I have a lot of divorcing clients. I am a certified real estate divorce specialist. A lot of my clients are getting divorced, and I would easily be able to say, hey, this is a great handyman. He's got single mom discounts, does a great job. I love that you're doing that. Elderly veteran discounts, exactly. Like, having those things just shows that you're community based and that you care. So that's another aspect of, I think, offering that, coming from that contribution. What are you giving to the market? And like Cece said, not, having that YouTube channel or on Facebook, put it everywhere. Don't you just do it
yeah,
everywhere.
I need that
Do
video.
it
I'm
all.
telling you right now, I
Yes,
need a
we need
video
videos.
of
I
how
YouTube
to
everything. How to
fix
do this, how to do that. I go straight to YouTube. I really do.
this
How do I do
running
this?
toilet. I don't wanna call my landlord. She's in the middle of getting married. I don't wanna call her, so I'm trying to be a good tenant and trying to figure this out. I don't know why, like, I'm adjusting the plunger, okay?
Yeah.
It's not working. I
Yeah.
wake up and I hear it run, and it's
That's
a small one.
annoying. I
It's so
know.
annoying,
It's so
and it
annoying.
echoes. But yeah, so if you do videos, that's just my little advice. Like, I need a pseudo dad or that
Yes.
person that
The
comes in. It's like,
videos are always,
"Here,
content's
I got
always
a
it.
video of, did you try this?" And maybe it'll work. I
Yeah.
don't know. I just don't wanna bother my landlord. She's amazing landlord, but she's getting married, and I wanna be mindful of that. She's not a slumlord. I got
Yeah, but
very,
she's not
very
coming to fix your
lucky.
toilet. She's supposed to have someone
I
on
know,
call
but
for
I
that.
just don't wanna, like, she's in, like, beautiful mindset.
You're
People
so
are flying in.
nice.
I just don't want her to have to think about work.
Yeah.
And because she only has 1 rental. She's not That's not her business. She works full time as something else. This is just a default landlord.
Mhm.
So it's
Mhm.
not her everyday job.
Right.
So I just want to be mindful of it. That's
That's
all.
nice of you. All right, so questions about Florida really quickly. Is Florida expensive? Yeah. So my daughter's place in Delray is 2,600 a month and it's only a one bedroom, but it's a brand new place, ton of amenities, has the full the gym, the pool, the community stuff. Um it depends where you go in Florida, though. What's expensive about Florida really quickly, and then we'll get back into our topic. But what's expensive about Florida? The HOAs. That's those have shot up, and the insurance,
Yes.
depending on where you live. So, and the market's in a it's in a buyer's market, but and you can get it. You can get great deals, but you have to count all your costs. It's not just what you're buying the house or the condo for. It's what are your other fees? What's your HOA? Sometimes there's two. What other monthlies do you have? What is it going to cost to get insurance? Keep that in mind. All right. So Cece pointed on something. We're talking about Compass, if you just joined us, and the fact that they just acquired Anywhere Real Estate, this big umbrella conglomerate of all these different franchise models. It's a $10 billion deal, and the 10 billion includes 7 billion in debt, though. So it's called an
That's a lot.
enterprise. It's called, what is it? What they call an enterprise value. It's 10 billion is the enterprise value. It's about 7 billion in debt. So it's interesting because the Anywhere shareholders they got like 1.436 Compass shares, and those are the Compass shares are each at $13.01. So I'm assuming, I don't know if I'm reading this right. I don't know if they are converting. They must be because they're having one umbrella. So basically their shares are going to be converted into Compass shares is my guess. If I'm reading this right. I mean, I might have to like dig deeper into it, but that's probably what they have to get. It has to all get approved. Like how's that going to shake out between the different shares they're coming together, the stock. Um, and
Well,
then
on
they've got,
compass.com, I'm actually on their website right now,
oh,
and their
good,
press release directly from the company, they are addressing the shares, the 1.4, um
1.436 is what I have. And then
yes.
Compass is $13.01. So does that mean each of Anywhere shareholders is yeah, I don't know if that's if it's like a conversion they're doing. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure they'll figure all that out. Now here's an
So
interesting thing.
Anywhere shareholders will own approximately 22%.
22. Yep.
So that's what they have on their actual website as a press release. Um,
Yes, so it's not a 50-50 deal. It's like you just said, 22. And then here's another
oh,
thing.
Morgan Stanley is the one. Oh, I didn't know this. Actually, this is new information that I haven't seen or heard. Um, they Compass obtained a $750 million financing commitment from Morgan Stanley to do this. That's a heavy backer.
Yeah.
That's
You have
huge.
to, right? You gotta have somebody
Well, of
that's
course, but to see that it's Morgan Stanley, usually we're so used to BlackRock, you're used to hearing, different big names. Now,
yeah.
I know there's other, um, individuals who have ties with Morgan Stanley, but usually you've been seeing a lot more of other companies coming in.
Yeah, they had to get somebody who doesn't have an exact real estate, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not they might have connection but not connected. Like they don't aren't owned by it. It also says though the risk was one of the risks Compass stock fell 15% after the announcement. I don't know if it's bounced back yet. That doesn't make. I mean, that's not crazy. They're if they know that they're engaging in this huge transaction, it might have made a little people like, what's going. People always get a little nervous. They're assuming Anywhere's debt. That's probably a big reason why the stock went down because Anywhere had again 7 billion in debt that they're assuming. Leverage the target by 2028. Okay, integration challenges. So this is important. Tech plus culture plus retention. So that's what's going to be hard for them, um, because these companies they are not known for their tech. So they've got to integrate. Every one of these brokerages has their own culture, and then they want retention. They're concerned, like they don't want to lose anybody, right? Like I can't imagine if I was part of any of these brokerages that I have a problem with this, but that's a concern. Are we going to lose anybody because of this? How are we going to blend all the culture of all these different brokerages and these different models and different, the way we've always done it, and then tech. So now they've got to decide what tech platform they're going to go with, how they're going to get everybody on.
Oh, we lost Holly. I'll pick this up and keep going. She mentioned, and this is what I was going to discuss. She mentioned the stocks of Compass. Now, when Compass opened today, they opened at 8.25. The market opened at 9:30. Oh, are you there? I just picked it up to. Can you hear us? Oh, we lost her. So Compass itself, it did drop by 20 cents. It went from 8.25 down to 8.05 today. So
Okay.
it's still low. So actually, it may be a good idea to look at that. I don't know if anybody has a Robinhood account. That's actually not
Yes.
bad.
No, it might not be a bad idea. Talk to we're not financial
Nope.
advisors or anything, but we're not giving you
Mm-mm.
any type of stock advice, but that's not a bad idea
It's
to
interesting.
talk to your person and look at it yourself and do some research. Whenever you see these opportunities, it's always you should always look into it, right? I think this is probably going to be really good for these guys. I don't know if they're going to get what they want out of it because they're pushing really hard. And if they're going to push on Zillow, which I hope they do, there's always going to be some pushback. So we'll see what happens with that because they basically, the one thing I don't like about what they're doing, I don't like when Compass wanted to be able to have off market deals. Um, not that I don't mind that, not that I mind an off market deal. It's called we used to call it a pocket listing. You have to be careful with it now. But I don't like the fact that they were only allowing their agents to have access to it. Because what that does, again, we're looking at this as a consumer protection bureau is always watching us like a hawk, right? Especially after this lawsuit. If you're engaging in something that does not benefit the public or puts them at a disadvantage at all, that's going to like get their attention. And the reason why to me it doesn't benefit people, now they can choose to do this, right? But do they understand what they're choosing? Like if I'm a seller and someone says to me, "Hey, we now have included all of this. We've opened our conglomerate up. We're going to only offer your listing to our network." And here's the cool thing, it's like only the people who are with us, our agents, are going to be able to bring the buyers, and we're going to bring the best buyers. They can say that all they want, they can have the whole thing. Well, what that means to you as a seller, just so you understand, is that if you're not out on the MLS so that everyone can see, when you're on the MLS, it starts to syndicate through Zillow, through all of the realtor.com, all of the search engines. Now everybody sees it. People who are not in the country see it. People who are not on an MLS search, who are cash buyers, see it because they're sometimes just waiting to see. Everybody sees it, and the best marketing is exposure. That is what you're after. You can't guarantee marketing results sometimes, but you can guarantee exposure. You can guarantee X amount of people are going to see this and it's going to go into this many households. They have numbers on that. But when you're going to say only our people in our pod are going to see it, that benefits the pod. Okay, because they're basically doing incestuous deals. Like you have to be an agent to be able to get we're going to have both sides. Basically, Compass wants both sides of the deal. Okay, that's what they want. So I can see why it benefits them. I can see why the agents feel like they're having like a little bit of an up because now their buyers are the only ones that have access to these listings. Now, maybe the buyers might be happy about that, but the sellers should think twice because if you're limiting their exposure, that's not a good thing. This is not. That's my 2 cents on that. That's the only thing I don't like that they're doing that, but I'm not concerned. It doesn't worry me because I'm happy to talk to sellers and say, "Why would you want that? Why would you wanna only be in their network?" That does not help you. Now, buyers, I can see why they would say, "Ooh, look we're gonna get a whole network of stuff that nobody else gets to see." But the fact that that's the case, now you're going to get some scrutiny from the bigger, big brother saying, "We don't know if we
FTC.
like that. Yeah, we don't know if we like the fact that we can't see what you're doing." I don't think, especially after this whole NAR settlement, I don't think that's going to be. We'll see. We'll see what happens with it. It's
It's
something to keep an eye on and
No, it
watch.
is. I feel like we keep saying that every episode. We're gonna
Yes,
keep an eye on this
we are
because
going to keep an eye on it.
We are. We love this industry. We
Mhm.
love I mean, I've been in real estate, I think, since the day I was born. I knew how to rent a house. My mother was on top of it. I love it. Not going anywhere. It flows through me. Landlord tenant is one of my strong suits, 15-year background, and then mortgages. So I've never been a real estate agent. Holly, that's her thing. Love it. I'm more of a strict mom when it comes to business in a very loving way. Like, can't do that. So I fit so much
Yeah.
better in the financial aspect of it. But this, I love it. And I love knowing what's going to happen or not know what's going to happen. And hopefully the shakeouts will get better. I know that we've talked about Barry Habib. He's an economic forecaster that we both listen to. He's
Yes.
a four-time
Crystal ball.
crystal ball. Thank you.
Yeah.
I almost said globe.
Yeah. He got the
Crystal
crystal ball
globe.
award because he was able to predict
He's
where rates were gonna go very
he's
more
still on
accurately than
track.
everyone else.
Yeah, he's still on track. He said about this time 6.1% on a 30-year fix
Mhm.
for 6 like, right here in this area, and we're getting close to it. He's almost right on the ball. Are we going to see well, we would see what's interesting. Can we move on, just slightly move on?
Yeah,
Sorry.
because I know we had another topic we were gonna go into too. I was just gonna say
Yes.
that. Yeah.
So, with this prediction, seeing what he discussed in the beginning of the year, we're still on track. And I've kept my eye on this. He has been a really good forecaster um, in our industry, and his proof every year has been there. His
Mhm.
model has been on point.
Yeah.
His math is better than the Federal Reserve math, Fed Daddy. So I do like to follow him. I do keep an eye and just like, okay, is he there? Is he not there? And we're on track to what he's saying. And what's interesting is that a lot of this comes up with the, I want to say, when the Federal Reserve meets, they get their data from the jobs report. They get it
Mm.
from all of these different reports. They do their math, everything shakes out, and they decide if they're going to increase or decrease the Fed rate. That's
Yep.
not mortgages. It affects mortgages, but that's not the mortgage rate itself. And a lot of people get
Right.
confused about that. That is not the
You gotta
case.
keep saying that. You gotta
I
keep
know.
saying
I,
that.
I keep saying it because
It's
every
a tough
we have
concept. It
well,
is.
and we have new viewers. Not
Yep.
everybody knows, and we have brand
Right.
new viewers, so we're super thankful that we got quite a few thumbs up. We have quite a few people watching us right now. We have comments. This is great. But here's the thing, we one of the elements that's based on the job report is this Friday. Was the government gonna shut down? Is there gonna be a jobs report? Is there not going to be a jobs report? What if and here's the other thing, I was actually challenged the other day when I was talking about this. Someone actually mentioned with all the layoffs, the federal layoffs that happened when Doge came in, how is
Yeah.
that going to affect it? Well, the good thing is that's not going to be affected in this month's reporting, not in October. It's going to be
Okay.
affected next month in
Okay.
November, the job loss. Also, you have to take into consideration the Indeed and the job opportunities, a lot of them
Right.
are fake. Those are bots.
Yes.
Then you have to take
Barry
into
talked
consider
about that on the video that I put on my page. That a
he
lot of these job opportunities weren't even full time. Some of them are part time. Some of them are consulting, like whatever. Like it's not. The numbers have been off, which we've talked about before too.
the correct. And so with all of that said, and oh gosh, really quick, even take into consideration someone's posting the same job because it's remote, like 5, 6, 7, 8 times. Well, now that jobs report is diluted by 45% with all of
Yep.
what we just said. So
Right.
it's hard to see the unemployment rate and where it's at because it's not factual. And how do you make it factual? How do you quantify that?
Well, and before you talk about that, I want to insert this really quickly because somebody made a post on Facebook yesterday talking about how they think all the tariffs and all the things this new administration is doing is look at all this job loss. What stinks is what they don't know is the jobs, it's not a new thing. The last two, at least 2 years prior to this, they were inflating the job numbers, and they finally admitted it. And Powell said, "Oh, I didn't get the right data. Now we're going to fix it." Well, duh. Like, so the
And
last
he said that back in
administration,
June or
yeah,
May.
so they were literally dosing everything. They were cooking the books to make it look a certain way because they wanted to keep the rate higher. That's what Barry said. This is not Howie. This is Barry, the video, what Barry said. It's on my Facebook page. They cooked the books. He didn't say that. I'm saying that. But they basically had inflated numbers so they could keep the rates high. They wanted to do certain things. So now it looks like all of a sudden we have job loss. No, no, no. All of a sudden we have transparency. All of a sudden we have an administration that came in. A lot of people got mad at Trump because they're like, it's not your lane. You can't tell the Fed daddy what to do. And they're right about that. It's not his lane. But the reason why he did it, people got to know the backstory. He came in and said something and got involved because he knew the numbers were off. They knew the numbers were off. So he's pushing them to have some transparency and do the right thing and stop lying and stop inflating. Give the actual data. So now the real data is coming out. So now it looks like, oh, all of a sudden we have job loss. No, no, no. All of a sudden now we have transparency and we have real numbers. That's what people need to know. That's what frustrates me, when people don't know the backstory and they don't actually follow economics. They don't know, because how do we know? I don't know when they lie on the jobs report. I'm not sitting there. I don't know how to calculate it, but I trust the people like you mentioned, Barry, who are doing the numbers, and the other people who are saying, wait a minute, hello, we need to wave a flag here. Somebody
Mhm.
needs to do something. We need this recalculated. So,
Yes.
anywho,
Yes.
I have to say that because people are like trying to blame Trump and trying to blame tariffs and trying, no, 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 no. It's been a problem for 2 to 3 years. They have been giving false data, incorrect numbers on the jobs report. Sorry.
Yeah.
Had to
No,
add that in because I feel like it needs to be said.
and we're gonna have to keep saying it. So we're
Yes.
gonna keep an eye on this. We'll see what this week brings, if the government does shut down or does not, if we get the jobs report or does not. So follow us, subscribe, so we can talk about this next Tuesday, which is going to be a
Well, so
continuing.
next
So
Tuesday might not happen. I might not be
oh
back
my
yet.
gosh, that's right. No, and I can't
Going,
either. I
okay.
forgot. I'm in a
So it's gonna be 2 weeks,
conference.
guys, because next week
Yeah.
I'm, like I mentioned in the beginning of this, I'm going down to get my daughter, moving her back up here. We start driving Monday because we have to drive her car back to Michigan. We start driving on Monday whenever the movers leave, and it's gonna be 12 hours each day or whatever until. So yeah. So you gotta put a pin in it. two
Yes,
weeks
and
we'll be able to give you more data on that and what's, and talk too about this job. I mean, the country shutting down, like the country shutting down. But like if they do the shutdown, I feel like they're, I don't know how
due to
often they do it.
budget, I don't think I they're gonna pull something out. They do this frequently, like, everybody gets stirred up. This is a
Yes,
huge topic to get the media stirring the
it
pot.
is. It's
They're
a big,
churning the
huge
butter.
thing, and
Negative,
they're
negative.
like, "We're gonna
Oh,
shut you down. We don't like your budget." I'm like,
I have clients who, well, actually, last year, I had a client call me. She works in a federal position, and she was worried. What does it look like? Would the bank defer a payment? This and that, because she was so worried of this shutdown. And she just called yesterday. I haven't had a chance to give her a call back. I guarantee it's the same topic we discussed a year ago. What does this look like? Because she won't get a paycheck or two. What does this look like? So
yeah,
it
it
is
does mess
a
with that.
media, it
Is it a
it worked
stunt? Is
out
it gonna happen? Yeah, if you're a government employee, I know my brother works for NASA, and he,
they're
back the
affected.
Trump's first administration, they did shut it down. And my brother was all upset because he was like, I'm not going to get paid for, and I don't know how long it lasted for. I can't remember now if it was a month or so. So I mean, it was significant enough, but the thing is, they got back paid. They did get paid. It wasn't like they just lost the money. They just had to get through it. And
Well,
you
hopefully
have to
they had
know when you,
reserves.
yeah, they got their money, but you do have to know when you work for the government, like you just have to go in and understand that. I mean, and NASA has government contracts, right? So that's why. But you have to understand that it's a possibility. It's a thing.
Mhm.
It's like there's always positives and negatives to every job you take, every industry you're in. Not everything is, cotton candy all the time.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how that goes.
Yeah.
So
So
we'll
it'll
have
be
to see what
interesting.
happens.
Yeah, I'll be at a conference in on the other side of the state for the Women's Council of Realtors. So we're going to be in a big room networking, masterminding with like-minded individuals, learning more about our craft and how to bring more value to the families and friends that we serve. So I will also be gone all day long. So that actually kind of worked out perfect that we both have
Yes.
obligations. You get to see your baby girl. I'm going to be in a big conference room with a
I'm
whole
gonna be in a
bunch of
car driving for 2 days straight.
you get
after
one
I pack,
powerful girl with
after I
you.
pack
I'm
for
going to
two or
be in the
three days.
sea.
Yeah, I'm gonna be packing for 2, 3 days, and then yeah, I'm gonna be a tired person. But when I get back, I'll be ready to be back. But yeah, it's a good thing. It's just a lot
Yeah.
moving. Oh, moving. Nobody wants to move. That's the downside of selling is you got to move. No one
Yeah.
wants to really do it, but it is what it is. And then you move into the new place and you're thrilled and you're happy. But yeah,
It's a
so
new
just
chapter.
new chapter. Yeah, so we're just going to keep an eye on what's going on with this new
Mhm.
real estate merger and how it's going to affect things and if it affects things and what happens and I always say competition is healthy for everybody. If there was only one real estate company, that means that
Mm.
all agents, we'd all have the same thing. We wouldn't, the nice thing about it that I like is I'm with EXP. I'm not leaving EXP, but EXP is going to pay attention. They're going to see what are these guys doing? Are they doing anything that we need to know about? Because they're always leaders. So it's like to me, they're so far ahead of everyone else. I don't worry, but it's going to keep them on their toes and they're going to want to keep me. So they're going to want to make sure that whatever they got, we got something better. So it's good for me. I love it. I think it's great. I say bring it. I think everybody should be on their A game. And, we all need to be fighting for the same goal, which is consumers to be able to buy and sell and have a great transaction and full transparency and, keep a healthy real estate industry that is held by us the professionals and not by some random company that's online and feels like just because they can market really, really well, they might be the best marketing company out there, but they're not the best suited to help you when you're looking to buy and sell. That's my TED talk for today. Thank you for coming.
Check us out not next week, in
2
2 weeks.
weeks.
But here's the thing, you have to hit that bell to get notified.
Yes. So you can subscribe and hit the bell for
Yeah.
notifications. If you haven't already given us the thumbs up, we've had a lot of people on. Give us some thumbs up, throw us some love and throw some comments and questions. We love to know what people are thinking about. If you have a question about a real estate topic, mortgage topic, if it's something that's in the realm of something that we can help with, just lay it in there and we'll be happy to address it on the next one because that's we want to be talking about what people want to know about. We're going to tell you what you don't know you need to know, but we also want to answer those questions that you have to. So,
Yes.
on that note, thank you so much, Cece Maciejewski, for joining
Yes.
me. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Until then, we're just wishing everybody to be blessed and take care of yourself and love others and be kind.
Bye.